Good morning. Today we are continuing on working with those factors and those numbers. Last objective, we did the greatest common factor. That factor is when we're breaking it down to smaller numbers. Today we are doing the least common multiple of numbers. So it's important to note when you do greatest common factor, you're doing small numbers, smaller than the numbers we started with. When we do least common multiple, we're doing bigger numbers, we're multiplying up. So least common multiple, you will have numbers bigger than the numbers you started with. So let's look at our vocab words. Factors. A factor is a number that goes evenly into the given number. Examples of factors of 12. Those numbers that are small that we multiply together to get up to that 12. 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Those are the factors of 12. Those small numbers that we are multiplying together. Then we have multiples. Multiples, we're multiplying up. We're doing big numbers. So multiples are numbers of a given number. No, not of. Multiples a given number. Can go into. This is found by skip counting. Examples of multiples of 12 would be 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. 12 times 3 is 36. 12 times 4 is 48. 12 times 5 is 60. I'm skip counting by those 12s. I'm multiplying up. I always have friends accidentally do greatest common factor instead of multiples. So always remember, factors are going to be small numbers. Multiples, you're multiplying up, they're going to get huge. They keep getting bigger. So, factors versus multiples, know the difference. I'm telling you, I always have friends mistake the two and forget what they're doing. So we need to remember, factors of 8, what times what equals 8? Who can tell me a factor of 8? Rhoda.
2 times 4.
2 times 4. What's another factors of 8? Haley?
1 times 8.
1 times 8. Now we're going to look at multiples of 8. What's 8 times 1, everyone?
8.
8 times 2?
16.
8 times 3?
24.
8 times 4?
32.
Notice how my factors of 8 are small, my multiples of 8 get big. Important difference. Factors go small, multiples go big. So, we have some questions here. What are the factors of 6? Let me erase and move it up so we can see it easier. So think that out. What are the factors of 6? Write it down, and then we're going to share. Who can tell me one set of factors? Matt?
3 times 2.
3 and 2. What's another set of factors? Michael? 1 times 6. 1, 2, 3, 6. Those are all factors of 6. What are some multiples of 6? Rhoda.
42.
So 42 is a multiple of 6. I like to put it in order. What number do you think I should start with? Even smaller. Vinny?
6.
6. Start with taking your number and multiplying it by 1. 6 times 1 is 6. What do you think I should multiply it by next, Haley?
12.
Yeah. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is what? Presley? 6 times 4? Jackson?
24.
6 times 5?
30.
Avery?
30.
6 times 6? Matt?
36.
And then we have that 6 times 7 is 42. 6 seven. So multiplying, when we look at those multiples, it's always good to start with 6 times 1 and work your way up. So multiply by 1, multiply it by 2, multiply it by 3. And do that skip counting. You're skipping by 6s as we're going up. So we have 2 different methods that we're going to use to find our least common multiple. Our first one is the listing method. We use listing with our greatest common factors where we were listing all the possible factors. Do we want to list all the possible multiples? What do you think? Should we list all possible multiples? Yes or no? Show me your thumbs. I see a lot of thumbs up, couple thumbs down. Matt, why did you say no?
Because it says what? What are some multiples?
Okay, so it does say some multiples. Why is it saying only some? Can I actually list all the multiples of 6? Why not? I know my multiples. I know how to skip count by 6. Why can't I list them all? Michael?
Oh, there's just 2.
More than that. It's not possible. Why is it not possible, Rhoda?
Numbers don't end.
Because numbers don't end, they go on for infinity. If I said list all the multiples of 6, I would keep going on and on and on and on because numbers go on for infinity. It never stops. So when I list multiples, trying to find the least common multiple, pay attention up here. I'm trying to find that. I like to go up to that number times 10. So 10's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I usually stop at 10. So if I'm listing, let's say I am finding the least common multiple for 4 and 6. To find that least common multiple, first thing I'm going to do is write the M, finding all the multiples. So multiples of 4. Who thinks they can tell me the multiples of 4 up to 10? Rhoda.
4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40.
Now, Rhoda did that pretty quick off the top of her head. Some of us are like, yeah, I was following along. I got that. Some of us are saying, follow along for the first few. Then I was kind of struggling. What can we use to help us? Vinny?
Multiplication table on our assigned notebooks.
That multiplication table in your assignment notebook. It's okay to use that. Now we need our multiples of 6. Who can tell me the multiples of 6? Matt?
6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48.
Hold on. You're going faster than I can write. 42, 48.
54, 60.
All right. Remember, I said just go up to the 10. So our first step is that M, listing our multiples. The second step is the C, finding the ones that we have in common. So what numbers are listed in both? I see they share 12. They share 24. They share that 36. And that's it that we have right there. So the last one we have to do is find which one is the least that they share in common. What number is the least number that they share in common, Moses?
12.
The 12. That smallest number that they share in common. So that's the listing method. You have to list all of the multiples up to 10. Sometimes you have to go bigger than 10. Sometimes you'll look at it and go, I don't see any common multiples, and I've listed up to 10. What do you think you're gonna have to do then?
Just keep going until you find one.
Just keep going. Maybe list another 10 for each number. Sometimes that least common multiple is a really big number. Sometimes we made a mistake with our skip counting, with our writing our multiples. So always go back and check, did I list all of my multiples correctly? And then if you did, you have to keep on going. Now, greatest common factor, we learned how to use the table method. We're going to do the same table method with an added twist to see how we can find the least common multiple. So if I still have that 4 and 6, I make my table. What do you think I'm gonna need to do? Same first step that we had with greatest common factor. What was that first step, Rhoda? Finding a factor that I can divide out of both. So what can I divide out of the 4 and out of the 6, Matt? A 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Is there another factor that I can divide out of both those numbers, 2 and 3? Matt?
1.
Yeah, dividing a 1 out isn't gonna change anything. I'm still gonna be left with a 2 and a 3. So that 1 isn't a prime number, so we don't wanna divide it out. So I can't divide anything else out. Now with the the greatest common factor, we just multiply together anything on the left side. With the least common multiple, we are going to make an L, and we're going to circle anything we pulled out on the left, and we're going to include the bottom row. So anything on the left, I only pulled one number out on the left, but I also have a 2 and a 3 on that bottom row. I multiply all those together. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. I get the same answer. Okay. We're going to do a little bit, I know that you know how to do the listing method. I want to show us that. I want to show us the table method, because that one is a little more tricky. You know how to list your multiples. I want us to understand, some of us are like, yeah, that table method for greatest common factor, yeah, I kind of got it, and I kind of didn't get it. We're going to work some more with it, with the added twist of making our L and actually multiplying the bottom part too. So let's scroll up. Here it says, use the listing method to find the least common multiple of. The numbers show your work. So some of us can look at 6 and 8, and we just know with our number sense what that least common multiple is. We need to remember that we have to show our work. Okay, so we're going to do just one of these together, just as a reminder how to use the listing method. So we have 6 and 8. So for that 6, I'm going to list my multiples out. 6 times 1, 6 times 2, 6 times 3, 6 times 4, 6 times 5, 6 times 6, 6 times 7, 6 times 8, 6 times 9, 6 times 10. Now I'm going to list out for my 8s. 8 times 1, 8 times 2, 8 times 3, 8 times 4. Do I have to go anymore? Do I have to keep going? Do I?
No.
Why can I stop? Vinny?
Because there's a 24 there, there's a 24 there, and then once it gets bigger, because it's finding the least.
Yeah, I already found my least one. I went to 10 with my first number, and then my second number, I could actually stop when I had that 4. So I could actually stop at that 24, because that's the least common multiple. I could have kept going to see what else they shared. I could have gone up to that 80, and they shared more multiples, like 48, but I didn't have to. And it's okay to stop once you find that least common multiple. Let's look at the table method though. I want you to do 12 and 9 on your own, so we can spend a little more time with the table method, because that's a little more challenging. Remember, if you're doing the listing method, you have to show your work. I should not just see, oh, I know 8 and 6 both go into 24. 24 is our least common multiple because I know my numbers. That's not doing the work. You have to show the work. Michael?
What if it is, what if the number that they share together is 8 times 6 versus
Well, then that's the number. Yeah, like the least common multiple of 4 and 3 is going to be 12. That is 4 times 3. And you'll find that as you do your work, as you show your work. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. So let's look at 7 and 5, doing our table method. Can I divide anything out of 7 and 5? Can I divide any primes out? Matt's shaking his head. He's like, wait a minute. 7's a prime, 5 is a prime. I can't divide anything out. So this one, you really don't have to do any work. Your L, there's nothing on the left. We're just multiplying that 7 and 5 together. Like what Michael was just asking. What if that is your least common multiple? Then that's all you have to do. But you're showing your work. Now let's look at 6 and 14. What can I divide out of 6 that I can also divide out of 14? Vinny?
2.
6 divided by 2 is 3. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Is there a number that I can divide out of 3 and 7? Rhoda? No. So, this time I don't have it. I only have the one number on the left and then the 2 numbers on the bottom. So 2 times 3 is 6. What is 6 times 7? Joy? 42. Yeah, another 6, 7, and it keeps popping up. So the least common multiple of 6 and 14 is 42. What was easier, listing out all of my multiples of 6, all of my multiples of 7, all the way out to see that they both share the 42, or doing the table method? Table method, I know, can be challenging, really understanding it, but once you know it, it's a lot easier to use for that least common multiple. Benny?
I have a question for the table one on the next one.
Yes.
So you know how you're doing like that L there, but you're doing that extra space there?
Uh-huh.
Would you circle the 4 too? Or would you like...
So, we have to go through, is there a multiple that 4, 10, and 16 all share? Vinny?
2.
2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 16 divided by 2 is 8. Now, here's where it becomes fun. For the least common multiple, I can look to see if I have 3 or more numbers on the top, I can look to see, is there a number that I can pull out of just 2 of them? What number, Matt?
22.
I can pull out a 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Can't divide 5 by 2, so I'm gonna bring that 5 straight down, because I couldn't divide 2 out of it. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now I look at 1, 5, and 4. Is there a number that I could divide out of at least 2 of those?
Yes.
What number do you think, Michael?
4.
I can divide a 1 by 4? Can I divide 5 by 4? No. I don't want to pull a number out if I can just divide one number by it. Okay, I have to have at least 2 numbers that I can divide out of. So now I make my L. All the numbers on the left and the numbers on the bottom, I'm going to multiply. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 times 4 is what? Leo? 80. So my least common multiple with 4, 10, and 16 is 80. Now, if I was listing out my multiples of 4, it would take a long time to get up to 80. I would have to go all the way out to multiplying by 20. So this is where I know the table method can be complicated if you don't understand it. The more you use it and check your answers to make sure you're using it correctly, it's going to make your life so much easier. Greatest common factor, it's really easy just to list the factors. There's not that many of them. But those multiples, finding out the multiple of 4 all the way up to 80, whew, that gets to be a lot. Let's look at our next page. And you're gonna help me work through one of them. Let's look at our last one, 9, 10, and 12. If I use the table method for that, what number should I pull out? Michael?
2.
I pull a 2 out. Can I divide 9 by 2?
No.
Mm-mm. So what am I gonna put?
9.
I'm gonna bring that 9 straight down. 10 and 2. What's 10 divided by 2? 5. What's 12 divided by 2? 8. Is there another number that I can divide out? 9, 5, and 6. What do you think, Michael?
3.
I can divide a 3 out. What's 9 divided by 3? What's 5 divided by 3? Can't do it, so I have to bring that 5 straight down. 6 divided by 3.
2.
Now I have 3, 5, and 2. Is there a number I can divide out of 3, 5, and 2? No, there isn't a number that I could divide out of at least 2 of them. So what do I do now? I've gone down as low as I can go. What should I do, Leo?
Make the L.
Make my L for least common multiple. And then what do I do with all of those numbers in my L, Jack?
Multiply them all together.
I'm going to multiply them all together. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 times 5. Good. 18 times 5? Matt? 90. 90 times 2, Joy. had it. What's 90 times 2? 180. This is another one. Oh my goodness, I would have had to have done multiples of 9 all the way up to 180. That's a lot of multiples to have to write out. You can do it, but it's going to be a lot of work writing all those multiples up to 180. The table method saves us a lot of time and saves us a lot of simple mistakes. When we're skip counting that high, that's past your multiplication table in your assignment notebook. They don't go that high. So we need to, sometimes when it's big numbers like that, if you can't do it with that listing, if it's going too high, use the table method. If you don't understand that table method, come see me so I can show you how to use it. Okay, we have to learn from those mistakes so we can find those answers. Now, on the bottom, it says to help you remember the difference between the GCF. What is GCF? Jude? Greatest common factor, and the LCM. What's LCM, Jackson?
Least common multiple.
Least common multiple. Remember, there's a difference between factors and multiples. So we're going to be doing both. So you're going to find the greatest common factors using the prime factorization tree, using the table, the listing method. You decide which method you want to use. Factors are going to be those small numbers. And then you're going to do the same two numbers, but you're going to find the least common multiple, multiplying up to the big numbers using the listing or the table method. Does that make sense? Okay, any questions on today's math? If you forgot how to do the greatest common factor, look back at yesterday's objective. Refresh your memory how to do the factors. The multiples are what we're doing right now. So, if you are finished, which I don't think anybody should be, remember, math packet number 3 needs to be turned into our blue tray. Packet 3, due today. Put your name on it, turn it into the blue tray. Khan Academy, due on Thursday. We will get our new math packets tomorrow. Okay, so we'll get new math packets tomorrow. Most of us have homework in math today. Okay, and that's okay. Sometimes we don't have work time to do it. We have homework in it. So make sure you're circling it in your assignment notebook. You're putting your math binder into your backpack when you go get your stuff for ELA. There is homework. Okay, do your homework. If you are watching this at home, I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like and subscribe.